spoiler notice up before we talk about like who was actually eliminated, or can it come up earlier, do we think, in the episode?
Oh, it can come up earlier.
Yeah, as long as it's part of what happened on TV already. As long as it happened on TV already, it's fair game of talking about.
Got it.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not up to date, you shouldn't be listening to a podcast. You don't want to know the spoilers. So
No, that's really great.
I think we're good. And you don't watch the live feed, so you wouldn't have any spoilers beyond that. But yeah, I think that's totally fine. All right, guys.
I'm tempted to watch the live feeds, but
Yeah, jump in if you want.
Yeah, go for it. It's fun and it's awful. It's all of it. So
It depends on when you tune in.
yeah, and how much emotional strength you have. But anyway, I don't have much, so I get very angry and irritated, and then I have to turn it off, and then I just check Twitter for the updates, for the next 3 hours, because like I'm still obsessed with what's going on, but I can't watch it. Like, it's so stupid. It's a weird addiction, this stupid show.
Most of what I do is like I'm making food in the kitchen while they're making food in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
So you're just hanging out with your friends
on TV, and they're just talking about their favorite movies.
Yeah. All
But
right.
you can't say anything back. It's frustrating.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get this started because this is good. This is good chit chat. All right. Hey, I'm gonna push record this time, you guys. Ready?
Cool. That would be really cool.
It would be cool. All right. Look, we are actually recording now. Perfect. Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome to House Meeting Podcast. I am Darren Petros, and here with me today is Ellen Neustadt and Sam Miller. Hey, guys.
Hey, I'm glad I'm back. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, you missed the live feed episode because you were under the weather. So
Yes,
I'm glad.
I listened to it, but I was under the weather. I had a weird virus that was not coronavirus.
Well, thank goodness for that. That's good.
Great.
But I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad Sam's here. Sam, if you guys are watching on YouTube, which I don't know if anybody knows you could do that, you can. We record our episodes and put them up on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Podcasts. But if you are itching to see us live, we do broadcast our episodes live. You see a little bit of the background, kind of the fun chit chat that we have before we actually start recording, a little behind the scenes stuff. And, but yeah, there's also a chat. If you want to get in there and chat, you can do that. So, and if you happen to be watching on YouTube, you'll notice that Sam is not pictured here. He's like in the yearbook. He's Sam Miller, not pictured.
I'm calling in today, fulfilling my dream of participating in Miss Cleo's column that they never got to do as a kid, but desperately wanted to.
Yes. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Did you guys ever call like the okay, this is gonna come out wrong because I think I'm remembering it wrong. Not the 900 numbers, not like the weird like inappropriate like lewd numbers.
The late night commercial ones.
Yeah, not those ones, but there was like all the like you could go to a payphone, if anybody remembers what that is, and you could like dial like 899 numbers or something like that, and then you would just get this weird recording, and then it would be like dial 1 for da-da-da, and then put in another quarter, and then you'd hang up because you're 7.
Yeah. You can also dial popcorn just to get the time.
Yeah. Oh my God, can you do that?
Outrageous.
Can you still dial popcorn?
I don't know if you'd still do it, but
I don't even know if like people listening would even know what that is, but like it was literally like you dialed a phone number and this nice lady voice would tell you the date and time.
Yeah,
That was our fun before the internet, guys.
And Star 69 was also a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually hated Star 69 because it meant that you couldn't prank call people anymore.
Oh wait, what was the one? I think I meant the one that hides your
Star 67.
Star 67 was the fun one. Star 69 was the antithesis of Star 67.
Star 69 is where it just
Classic.
it dials that person right back, and so they're like, "Hi, did you just call me?" And you're like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah, you did because I Star 69'd you." Oh boy. Anyway, we're here to talk about phones and pre-internet days.
And people who don't have access to phones.
Yes, there you go. That was a
This is
wonderful
also-
segue. That was
This is
great.
also a week about miscommunication too.
That is
Ooh,
And
very
I feel
good.
like that telephone
Yes,
effect.
absolutely. Holy moly, you guys are good.
Perfect
If
segues.
if you want more of these amazing segues, you can find us on social media. We're on. Did you see what I did there? We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, sort of. I don't really do much on Facebook. I don't know if Ellen does, but
No.
I don't know. We're on Instagram
Sorry.
and Twitter
I'll
for
try
sure.
harder.
I'm only on Instagram now. I just fully deleted my Facebook and Twitter. I am not getting them back ever. And I just realized all of my high school photos are on Facebook. So if I ever have children, they will not know what I look like.
Oh, wow.
2011 and 2015. Or
Man,
no, let's call it. But yeah.
it's like you threw out your yearbook.
Mm-hmm.
No. Well, there you go. If you have feedback for our show, you can email us at housemeetingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can fill out a contact sheet on our website at housemeetingpod.com. We are also on Patreon. We have one tier. And if you want to be a really cool person and help us make a little bit of money to keep this thing going, you can go over to patreon.com/housemeeting and throw us a couple bucks. We will highly, highly appreciate you for it. So, you guys, this was a weird week. I'm very excited for this episode just to talk about it because my personal emotions have been all over the place. It's been a roller coaster, more like not even a roller coaster. It's been like a bouncy ball. Like you throw a bouncy ball in like a blank room and just see what happens. That's been my brain this whole week when it comes to Big Brother. So let's first talk about Sunday's episode, which was Noms.
Yeah. Memphis, man.
Whew. He what is up with this guy?
So the first thing that he did,
I'm a little proud of him for some of stuff, but
yeah, well, I was just gonna say the one thing I'm kind of proud, thought was kind of I don't know, it didn't seem like a good move at the time, but it worked. Was how he made everybody. He tried to make everybody but Cody play in the safety suite so that him and Cody would be the only ones playing next week, which is smart.
It's smart.
It also could have gone really poorly, but everybody was dumb enough to fall for it, kind of.
Yeah, they all actually did it. Most of them.
Yeah.
I was so proud of Nicole, too, for not doing it. And then it obviously totally backfired at the end, but
yeah.
But no, I mean I was proud of Memphis in terms of my draft because he scored a big point this week. I was shocked that he won that that comp, but
yeah,
I'm also glad he made him still.
Yeah, so he did that, and then they played the safety suite. That was the first. Yeah, that was Nom's episode, obviously, and but yeah, it was crazy.
It was a little weird that he was hell-bent on two people in his alliance playing the safety suite. Like, to me, that just seemed unnecessary. No one knew about the alliance at this point. It's only week 2. Everybody's in an alliance with everybody at this point. I mean, and they don't necessarily know that, but I feel like if I were in that house, I would just assume everybody's in an alliance with everyone, and just, you could talk your way out of that. You don't need your people to go and waste their safety suite, but they did. Cody did, even.
Yeah, everybody fell for everybody didn't trust their own instincts, because almost everybody in the diary room was like, I'm not doing that, that's crazy, I definitely want to save my safety suite, and then cut to them playing in the game, losing.
Yeah. And can we just talk for a second about the game? So the game was very cool. I liked the game. What I didn't like was watching David play the game, because I am sorry, but you walked. You literally
didn't try at all.
So the game, just as a refresher for everybody, I had to actually look it up because I couldn't remember. It was 2 tables, 2 like bar top tables, and then you had to bring these drinks over to the table and balance them on the table, and the table was very wobbly, and you had to do this twice. So David gets in there, and I'm not a huge David fan, but I do feel I'm like excited that he's there because I want to see him really play these games. Yeah, he's an underdog. He's never played. Like, I really want him to have this opportunity. He gets in there. He picks up. This one table needed 5 drinks on it to be balanced, and he goes and picks up 2, walks to the table, sets them on the ground, walks back to go pick up the rest, walks them to the table. And I'm like, it's a timed competition. Like, what are you actually doing? Like, he doesn't know this game at all.
I take back. I don't think he's an evil genius. I'm going to make a statement here that I have really failed my predictions for this season. I mean, though I do still think that there's a chance that Kevin will self-evict, I think pretty much everything else is off the table, mostly including David winning and second place, including Nicole A getting America's favorite.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those are going to happen, but yeah, David's a real big disappointment. I don't really understand how you can know so little. I feel like he doesn't listen to the instructions of the games, and this isn't the first time that I thought that. I feel like he doesn't listen to the instructions fully.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, at the very end, he when they were trying to get him to turn around in the very last challenge of the 3 episodes, the head of household, Julie had to negotiate with him and get him to turn away from the beer.
Yeah.
Mugs toward the table.
He's like he's a lost puppy.
I think he's maybe in his head too much. But that's what killed him in the second one too. Actually, was just a slight glance over to his competitor.
Yeah.
Even though he could have totally won that, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
he's kind of a doofus.
He is, and I wanted to really like him, and I'm having a very difficult time with that.
Yeah.
His conversation with Bailey was
oh, that was so amazing.
ridiculous.
That was on last night's episode, the eviction episode, where he
Wild.
told her to calm down, and I actually loved Bailey being like, you don't tell women to calm down, and you don't tell Day to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
when you're on the chopping block.
Yeah, and then
it's
she
ridiculous.
still
Every
voted
level
for
of
him.
that. Yeah.
So another thing that happened on Sunday's episode was the have-not rules were explained, which I thought they had never done this before, that I can remember at least. So the have-nots now, when they're done being a have-not, they have to choose another have-not.
I forgot that happened. I forgot all about that. That's wild. That adds a whole other thing where you have to kind of show your cards.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Me
Well,
too.
and I liked that they're actually talking about have-nots, because the last 5 seasons, it's been a thing that happens that never gets talked about. So it's why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And it's still not really talked about, but I was kind of happy that they even brought it up, I guess.
I literally think they do it to torture them, because I think that it's to make however, how many of them are have-nots at a time? 4, something like that. It changes.
I don't know, 3 or 4.
5 to start. Yeah, but they it's just to make 5 of them grumpy.
Yeah,
make them grouchy.
That's
so
the
that
one thing that's the one thing I give David credit for, is he was in the have-not room this week. So that, I think, maybe affected part of his performance. Maybe wasn't getting much sleep because of it.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm hoping that this is a kick in the pants, because Memphis both gave him the have-not room and then put him up. It was a double.
Yeah, it was cruel.
whammy.
He's so mean.
And I hope it just comes for Memphis, even though he's, my draft.
Yeah, Memphis was so mean to David, and that's when in the nomination speech, and it was completely unnecessary. And he's just kind of a big dumb bully. It's like a bully and a doofus interacting with each other.
Can we talk about his shirt?
Really? Yeah, I'm not into it. I'm ready for the next week. This week was really
it was kind of terrible. But can we just
terrible.
talk real fast, since we're talking about Memphis and I feel like being petty? Can we talk about his jean shirt that he was wearing in the DR?
Yeah, I was hoping we'd talk about this.
Whether or not it was purchased that way or made to look that way, I'm sorry, but I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but Bro's arms are too flabby for a shirt like that. He's not. It just made him look like a hillbilly, which maybe he is. I don't really know, but I couldn't dislike Memphis more this week, and yet he wasn't the one I disliked the most. So
yeah,
this is a weird week.
He's put a target on his back in so many ways now, from both being a really competitive person, making him a target because he's playing so well, to be alienating every single person he had an alliance with in some major way this week. in
Yeah.
a way that was totally avoidable too.
Yeah.
And it was just him being a jerk about it.
So another thing that kind of came out of left field for me, at least, even watching the feeds, was Christmas winning the safety suite and saving Ian,
Yeah.
which I thought was a good move on her part. Like when she explained it and she said, "Well, I mean, I have this alliance. Why not have an extra number?" Like it's a good move, but it was so odd. It was very unexpected for me.
Well, that's what happens when you're HOH and you don't tell anybody what you want to happen.
It's true.
And then the thing that you wanted to happen becomes impossible. And then you're like, but why did you save Ian?
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
you didn't tell me what you were going to do.
Yeah.
So I just made a move.
Right. Yeah.
It was weird.
And Ian, that was such a brilliant strategic move to see that opening.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. He is
did it.
so good at this game. He's
It's
the only
amazing.
one like strategizing, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in that first episode on Sunday, my husband Jason, who you may have heard on the live feed episode, had a couple theories, and they were kind of interesting to me, so I wanted to bring them up. One, after watching the safety suite competition, he said he thinks that Day has too big of a personality to do well at games or at comps, because she's and I didn't understand what he meant at first, but he meant that she is so good at being on this show. She puts on a show. She's the best one by far in the DR. She knows how to act. She knows she's on TV the whole time. So she is really putting her whole self out there. And his theory was that because of that, that's her main focus during comps instead of the actual comp.
I see.
I thought it was an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's no way to know. There's no way to prove that theory or not. But it's interesting because she's not very good at the comps.
She's not very good.
She's not actually.
I wrote down on my notes is Davon is terrible at comps.
Yeah, like she is, and I was wondering why, because like she seems athletic. She seems very smart. She's got a fairly good social game. Not as good as I would have hoped, but she's doing well-ish. But yeah, when it comes to comps, it's just always like you know she's not going to win.
Yeah.
She was close to head of household last week, kind of. Everyone all got out at the same time.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
That was a
Yeah,
hard
it's
one.
But so I mean, maybe there's a way where these have just not been the best competitions for her
Yeah.
so far. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, and then this led to a secondary but related theory that maybe you can't be a good competitor and be likable.
yeah.
Maybe you can only be one or the other, and then I couldn't think of anybody, but could you think of anybody in the past seasons that was a very good competitor and was very likable to
Do you
people in
mean
the house?
likable to America or
No,
likable to the house?
I don't know. I think
Because
to
I
the
think
house.
that Janelle in past seasons, this season obviously she hasn't won any comps, but in past seasons she was both, which made her this like crazy person. But she was an anomaly, so it kind of still just proves
Yeah.
your point. Now she's not so good at comps, but
Yeah, she hasn't done so well. It's a bummer.
no.
And then I have a question. Ellen, I guess you listened to the live feed episode, so I think you may already know this, so don't answer. But so maybe this is just for Sam. But how old do you think Memphis is?
48.
Thank you. He's 37. He is the same age as me. I asked Jason, my husband, also, and he was like, I don't know, 52.
I literally thought the same thing. I cannot
How
believe
old's Enzo?
I
They look
don't
the
know.
same age.
they
I don't
do look the same age.
Yeah.
I think Enzo maybe actually is.
Well,
think-
Enzo
Got kids.
Enzo has a couple kids, but Enzo also though has a lot of like, you can see the life that has happened on his face. Like he's been through a lot of
42.
life.
That's not bad.
Oh yeah, he's 42. Yeah.
Okay.
Enzo looks better now than he looked in his season when he was just like, I don't know, he's kind of like starting to bald, but like trying to play it off. And now he's just like, nah,
Yeah,
I work out now and I shave my
He
head.
won me over this week.
he did, and I was actually going to
love
skip this
Enzo.
note that I had about Enzo because I was like, it's not going to fit into what everything else we're talking about, but now it does. And Enzo, said on the, this is really what brought me to kind of loving Enzo, is he was like, I just don't want to die fat. I wish I had had kids in high school so I didn't have to worry about this. And like, I don't even know what he meant.
What?
But I was like, you are so weird. And I
so
just
weird.
love it.
You guys have to, if neither of you have watched the YouTube compilation of him talking about, I'm bringing up the Crayon Factory again, you guys, but if you haven't watched him talking about working at a crayon factory, it's worth it. It was one of the funniest stories I've heard.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I really appreciated him saying that he was doing it for his kids, which was it's a cheap trick, but it got me.
Yeah.
It works, and if it's true, it's true. You know, I do like that. So Wednesday's episode, that was the veto, and then we found out the final nominations.
Yes.
So
Nicole got out first.
Of course.
Immediately. She just immediately dropped the ball.
Yeah. Which is a metaphor for her entire game.
Yes. And then this whole week was just like a bunch of disappointments. Even though I wasn't rooting, by this point, I wasn't even really rooting for Nicole or David. I didn't really care. But it was still disappointing to watch somebody on the block drop their ball first. Then watch David almost do it, and then just make a rookie mistake to like watch another player and not pay attention. It just was really upsetting.
Yeah, it sort of proved that they should be on the block. Like, okay, then go. Yeah. Like,
David, both times going into the competition, he goes, "This is it. Eyes on the ball. I'm about to die. I have to do this," and then he just totally didn't give any of what it took. Which was very disappointing.
Yeah.
He tanked.
And
then
I was hoping he would win that. I want to see someone get off the block, to be honest. I really
you haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
It'll happen at some point. I hope this week, but
people have there's just been really weak noms. Like the people nominated have been really weak competitors, which is also disappointing. You shouldn't be trying to get out weak competitors,
right? How dumb are you? Do you want to win this game or not? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
So Nicole, go ahead.
I was just saying that seems like they're being too diplomatic for all stars.
Yes.
Where if you've already won, you have to play like twice as hard, and if you haven't won, you like really need to be just going for it.
Yeah.
100%. So I know that you don't watch the feeds, and so I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I will just say that Nicole Franzel got a very good edit on this episode.
Really good edit.
She
what?
She got good at it.
They made it. I think since that's in the past, can't we just say?
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
Because what happened was on TV, they made it look as if Nicole. Oh wait, are you talking about Nicole Franzel?
Yeah. Well, Nicole A got a good edit too, but Nicole Franzel.
I was thinking Nicole A. Okay, you go first with Nicole Franzel.
Well, it's just that she has been basically talking crap and crying to everyone all week, even though she's not on the block, she's not a target, she's none of these things, but she's like been making up a lot of stuff about Janelle and Kaiser and stuff.
Okay, I was gonna say she was going for Janelle because there was that
big time, and
such the tension this week.
Yeah, and she's made it very personal, and Janelle, at least last week, was not making anything personal. She was just trying to save Nicole A. And just on this episode, I was disappointed at how they found the 5 good things that Nicole Franzel said this week and put them on air. And I was like, oh God, they just love her so much.
Everything about the way that CBS treats Nicole Franzel, including her being on the show this season in the first place, is just a little bit weird and fishy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I think is going on, but I know it feels weird, and I don't like it. It feels like she is getting like weird special treatment. And you're right, she did. I didn't even think about that, but the whole storyline was like, she's being mean to me. Like, I don't even know what I did, and it's like, she's really not doing anything to you.
She never did anything
about her constantly.
Yeah.
It's
That's
weird.
wild. And the
Yeah.
last thing that I know happened on this episode was we were introduced to Ian's punishment.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I honestly think he was probably the best person to have to do this punishment because he goes all in.
Yeah.
Like all
He's
in
a
in
great
like
sport.
yeah, he really was. Like and I said I turned to my husband, I was like, could you imagine Cody not
Oh my
not
God.
this Cody, but the Cody Marine Cody
Oh.
having to do this? And Jason was like, he would just take a penalty
Yeah,
vote. Like
he
he
would
just
take
wouldn't
a
do it.
penalty vote.
And that's what I love about Ian. It's definitely outside of his comfort zone, it looked like, but he did it, and he did it with his whole heart, and I just
Probably
love
in
that
some
guy.
way therapeutic for him because he's been a little stressed,
Mhm.
and I think it maybe like got him outside. By getting him outside of his comfort zone might have been kind of good for him for right now. But yeah, it was
And
very
it,
fun.
it forced him to interact with people on a script still.
Yeah.
But he had to wake them up, which takes both like a lot of courage to just like be that kind of intrusive to someone.
Yeah.
But he's like so sweet, you can't really say anything, and people did just like wake up in the middle of the night to
Yeah.
do these things with him.
I
Yeah.
loved when he asked Janelle, and Janelle was like, "It's okay, Ian."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah, he did great. You know, I really like when the punishments are like this, they're interactive. Do you remember there was one where I think her name was
Haley. Yeah, she had to do the
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
and she had to do Shakespeare. She'd like stand on a soapbox and recite Shakespeare. And then there was one where they had to, I think it was Nicole Franzel actually had to make hot dogs for everybody.
Oh, it wasn't Nicole.
it?
It was gosh, I can't remember her name. It was
She had to literally set up a fire or like set up
Yeah.
a barbecue in the backyard and cook hot dogs. And they would ring the bell at 5 a.m. and
Yeah.
then she'd have to go outside and make hot dogs and give them to people while they're sleeping.
Yeah. Well, and do you remember when Cody's brother Paulie on his season was Paulie? I think so. It was after he was very frustrated with the whole season. He was kind of over it because he didn't get his way or something, and
Yeah.
he had to make pies. He had to make an
Oh,
apple
yeah.
pie every time they told him to, and he was like, he was so mad. He almost took a penalty nom because he just didn't want to do it so bad.
Guys anymore. That's so funny.
What's the penalty nom?
So I don't really know how it works because it very, very rarely happens. Even if people don't do their punishments, CBS usually doesn't really do much. But the idea is that if you have a punishment and you fail at it or you don't do it, then you get a nomination, like you get an extra vote against you when you're on the block.
And if you're not on the block,
gotcha.
you can get nominated sometime. Like you can be a third nomination.
Yeah, like that's like the
Oh boy.
yeah. So that's how they get people to like take it seriously. But some bros can't even handle that. So
Yeah, it can happen if you're like not eating the slop, or if you're not like listening to them when they ask you to turn your mic up, or whatever is happening.
yeah. Okay. So anything else for Wednesday? Otherwise, I think it's time to move on to eviction night.
episode.
All right. So as always, the first thing we do for eviction night episodes is we talk about Julie Chen Moonves' outfit. Okay, so here comes our outfit review.
So I don't have a whole lot to say about this week because let's be honest, what we were looking at last night was a red top, some black tapered pants, some black studded pumps, her now classic double cross necklaces, a candy necklace, which was the star, I think. It was like those candy that you can eat. And then she had like an evil eye necklace on.
She had a lot of necklaces.
Yeah, and then sparkly
Yeah,
studs.
definitely an eye.
And she looked like I have one note here, which is just grandma at New Year's. And that's it. That's all I
Yeah,
have
no,
to
that's
say.
good. When I was watching it, and my coworker also watches it, and he texted me, and he was like, Ellen's not gonna like it. It looks like she
No.
got it at Ross.
No, yeah. Yeah, Ross is honestly a compliment. I was thinking more like Kohl's sale section.
Yeah.
It was really sad. No
Yeah.
offense to grandma at New Year's.
No, but it was
But
very
Not
blah.
appropriate for a TV show when you're live and you're the host that's been a host for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not right.
No.
And you gave us two outstanding examples the weeks before. So this was such to do something so aggressively plain.
Yes.
Yeah, she just as Nicole A, she dropped the ball on this one.
She dropped the ball. Yeah, I would say aggressively plain is a really good descriptor.
I like that
for this outfit.
So what are we gonna? What's her thing this time? How are we gonna judge her?
A black tapered slacks.
Okay, how many boring black tapered slacks does she get, Ellen?
One.
Maybe
1 point. I'll give her 1.75 because it wasn't horrid.
It wasn't terrible.
Maybe it's a 2.
Let's
go with 2.
I think 2.
I'm gonna say 2 black tapered slacks because it wasn't like it was hideous.
No,
it just was so boring.
It was just boring. It was very.
2 is a boring number for a rating of 0 to 5. So
yeah.
2.
Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ellen, for your Julie Chen Moonves outfit review. All right. So, eviction night.
Yeah.
That was so it's hard because there's a lot that happened on the live feeds. We don't need to talk about them, although I guess since it's in the past now, it maybe doesn't matter so much. But they showed some of it. They didn't show all of it. They did show some of it out of order, which I thought was very interesting.
The one that I'm really interested in talking about is, okay, Nicole A. Mm-hmm. In the live feeds previous, obviously she's evicted, so it doesn't really matter if we talk about her. But she was I was so confused watching feeds, and I was trying to figure out what was going on with her, and I was like, oh, I'm excited to see like how they edit this because I cannot figure out what's happening in the house, because she was walking around talking about how much she hated Janelle and Kaysar because they betrayed her. And I couldn't find her betraying her. I couldn't find it. I kept looking and I was like, I don't know. I don't see it. And then when they edited the episode, they made it look as if this was one grand plot for Nicole to be pretending like they betrayed her so that she distances herself from them. They made it look like it was a genius move.
Sort of.
It wasn't a genius move. It's why she was evicted.
No, she had actually lost her mind.
It did not look that way to me. It looked, she mentioned her mom's advice and didn't seem to follow it at all. And made a real bad exit.
Yeah.
She lost her damn mind.
Made fun of her.
I loved Julie Chen's exit interview with her because, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew watching the feeds and how terrible of a game Nicole A was playing. She was so highly paranoid. She went in every direction except the one that was the truthful one. She spent 4.5 days complaining about Janelle and Kaysar and complaining about how they were going to vote to keep her and complaining about how that was going to be bad for her game. And then she just lost her mind. I've lost my train of thought because she pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is it's in the end of the episode she looks like an idiot. It's true. But I do think that they tried to twist it as if like, and she tried to twist it in the diary room as if like this was my plan all along to distance myself from them. But it's like, no, you heard one rumor from Kevin that was not true. And then you decided to run with it and talk about how much you hate them while Janelle's literally crying about how bad she feels because she really likes you. And I was telling my husband about this. I was like, it went to commercial before the eviction. And I was like, this is as if it's like, she's like Janelle is like Beyonce. Like she's just so someone to look up to and to want to like you. You can't even imagine that she would like you. Even if in your wildest dreams, you couldn't imagine that Beyonce would want to record a song with you. And here she is. Here's Janelle wanting to play the game with you, Nicole.
Yeah.
And you screw it up. It was just so, like, she's crying for the first time in Big Brother history. You made Janelle cry over you?
Well, and so this was when I was talking about how I was a bouncy ball in an empty room. Those were the moments because I was watching the feeds and what was happening on the feeds literally at the same time. And I really wish CBS had shown this with timestamps, because on one camera, Janelle's crying about Nicole, about how she doesn't know how to save Nicole and she really wants to save her and she really likes her as a person. And on the other cam, Nicole is literally talking crap about Janelle to Kevin. And this is happening at the same time. And I was like, how is this a thing? Like, this is so tragic.
Yeah, it was wild. I did not know what was going on, and I still don't really understand. But one thing's for sure, I love a Julie Chen exit interview. She is so good at burning people.
Yeah.
And Nicole takes off her glasses and wipes her eyes and realizes her really huge mistake that she's made.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised that Janelle and Kaysar did not vote to keep her at the end of the day. That was interesting.
It'll be interesting to see what happened there. I'm sure they'll go over it in the next episode because
that was a little
from
weird.
TV edit perspective, there was no
reason for them.
Why. Yeah.
Yeah, and
then
I
Enzo,
was shocked the vote wasn't a little more split, to be honest.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and Enzo's hinky vote. What was that? I loved it.
Is he just out of the loop, or was it he's throwing something?
I think I don't know, but I have no idea what Enzo's ever thinking. So I loved it.
I hope he tries to play it off like it wasn't him. I love it when people do that. And they're like, yeah who was that? Who voted that way?
Yeah, it's amazing because there's no way to ever tell, really.
You can't tell, yeah.
So that was wonderful. One of the notes I wrote, and I don't even remember why, but Davon is so good in the DR. She's
so good.
She's just,
I love her.
I do too. I think she's just absolutely amazing. I don't think she's great at the game, but I never want her to leave.
Playing her best right now, but maybe she'll get into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. I just wrote Nicole A lost her damn mind. I did have a note here. So do we think that Janelle and Kaysar should have been playing harder for themselves? They're sort of taking a little bit of a backseat while everybody else is chatter, and they're kind of just being super chill, which I think was a good move. But I'm wondering, this season is so weird, it doesn't allow for you to not be chattering with people.
I feel like they are chattering with people. I feel like no matter what they do, there's a target on their back. And to be completely honest, I don't get it. If I was in the house, this is something that this is most of my notes are on this exact topic, because I don't understand why everybody's so obsessed with them when they're not winning comps. The only comp that put together they won was Kaysar winning when he only competed against Janelle.
Right.
So it doesn't really count. They're not winning comps, and they are only have each other. They don't have a big alliance. They have no numbers for anything. Even if they wanted to win a move, they need to not only win HOH, but they need to somehow convince over half of the house to do what they wanted. They have absolutely no power, and yet everybody's freaking out about them. And they can't stop talking about them. So for me, there's two reasons why it doesn't make any sense to go after them. One is you don't want to go after someone who is a bigger target in the house than you.
Right.
If I'm in a house, if I'm Cody or Tyler and I'm a big competitor, really soon in the game, people are going to want to be getting me out. I want to keep Janelle in the house if everybody wants to eliminate her.
Right.
And not only that, even better than that, I want to keep her because everyone wants to eliminate her and she's not good at comps. It doesn't make any sense. I feel crazy watching this because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but it's really weird. And that being said, to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know what game they should be playing. I think people would be going after them regardless.
Yeah.
I feel like having this massive alliance going on is maybe throwing everything off quite a bit. Specifically, you really saw it with Tyler this week trying to get David off the block, against there's already that rift within Memphis. There's already a rift that has started between Memphis and Nicole F2 because of him not putting Janelle up.
Yeah.
Instead of either David or Nicole, and I think it's just like you cannot balance that many needs at once.
It's gonna implode
And so,
soon.
yeah, it's like it was so on the verge of this week, which is I feel like kind of why everything might have felt so weird, because like you were both getting the will of Memphis, but then like at the same time like a totally unsold populace around him. You know, they like the support he had already felt very flimsy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Memphis. If I was in Memphis's alliance right now, I would be frustrated, and I would want to go after him, because I'd realize, oh, he didn't do anything any of us said. Is he really in our alliance?
He also didn't tell them what he was.
This all benefited Janelle and Kaysar too,
Yeah.
because there was that eternal struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not enough. I do think that they
No.
are in trouble, and I think they're going to be in trouble every week that they're there. And it's because of exactly what Ellen said. Like, these people are just not getting what they should be doing. Like, yeah, I told my husband the same thing. If I was in that house, I would be terrified of Janelle and Kaysar. But that's why you align with them.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you get them on your side and you keep them there, because everyone's scared of them. Like, I don't understand. I feel like it's very weak gameplay by everyone else. It's very bully mentality, sort of. Like, I don't know. And then I don't know. I'm very frustrated at this point, and I always get this way with this show. So I get to this point where I just get annoyed and I don't want to watch it anymore. And I'll tell you guys, that happened when Tyler won HOH, and I was like, oh, good, cool. Like, it's just gonna be another one of those weeks. And I actually like Tyler. I
like Tyler too. I'm actually interested. I mean, I know there's probably a huge chance he just nominates Janelle and Kaysar, but I do know that I don't think that he's just invested in this giant alliance. I think Tyler's really a smart player.
I think so too.
He's smarter than Cody. I think that he's got a lot going on in his head. I think he knows where he stands in his alliance, and I think he has one foot out the door of his alliance. I think he has many things going on. I just think that he is trying to set himself up, and I really hope that he's, even if he nominates Janelle and Kaysar, I hope that his end result is to backdoor Memphis.
That would be amazing.
Out of there. I think that would be the smartest move. Memphis is proven to be really good at comps, and there's a perfect reason for backdooring him. It's not like there's no reason. I mean, he went against his entire alliance, and I think Memphis should be the person to go home this week, and I think no one would be upset about it.
No one would.
Like, even Cody has motivation. I mean, not just because of the comp situation, but like, I would feel so dumb if I were Cody and Memphis got me to use the safety path that early. That's what a waste.
Yeah.
For a competitor who's going to really need that in 3 weeks, probably.
Well, no, this is the last week.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
this is it.
Wait, what?
The safety suite comp goes away after this is the last week of it.
Yeah, because
I thought it was the whole season.
No, it goes away, and then there will be another twist.
Okay.
Yeah, there'll be another twist. There's always a new twist.
But yeah, so this is the last week.
They said more rooms all season, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the rooms didn't go away. That would have been.
Yeah. The only people left for this coming week for the safety suite is Danny, Enzo, Memphis, and Nicole.
Okay. So everybody in that alliance, so it doesn't even matter.
And it would have been Tyler too. I don't think Tyler
didn't use his,
But it doesn't matter because he's HOH. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing that I want to, not to change the subject, are we done?
No, go for it.
I want to talk about is, this is a little bit of like Big Brother gossip, but I texted you, Taryn, a little while ago saying there's definitely a buyback, which, Sam, a buyback is...
well, so hold on. Before you explain it, Swaggy apparently came up with the term buyback.
Oh,
it is not a battle back. So we're not going to use buyback because it's not a buyback. It's a battle back. You battle back into the house.
So, battle back is when you're eliminated. sometimes CBS will sequester the people in the house that are eliminated for whatever weeks they choose. So it could be the first week through the 5th week. All of those eliminated house guests are sequestered secretly instead of just going home. And then they play a competition to come back in the house. So one of them will come back in the house. It doesn't happen every season, but it happens most seasons. And you can kind of find out, like fans usually end up finding out when it's about to happen because of things like the schedule on CBS and like how many weeks it's Big Brother is scheduled to be on air. You can figure out kind of based on that how many people have been eliminated. And then also you can figure out based on social media whether people are back on social media or whether people are home and whether or not you haven't heard from them. And so there were 2 things that before this eviction episode made me convinced that there was a battle back. I was like, it's certain. And the 2 things were, there was an interview with Julie Chen where she said, this is a quote from her. She said, after asking in an interview after Keisha's eviction whether there would possibly be a battle back, she said, our favorite saying, expect the unexpected. I can't say nothing. Ha! Anything is possible. Stay tuned. She was wearing a mask when you saw she exited. So as long as she stays virus-free, anything is possible. By the grace of God, anything is possible. So it felt like, okay, maybe Julie Chen. Like, and the fact that she said as long as she's virus-free. But then after that, Janelle on the live feeds was talking about how producers, she was talking with the other house guests about how producers, when she asked, okay, well, if I get eliminated early, will I get to go home right away? And the producers said that she wouldn't get to go home until mid-September if she was evicted early in the house, early in the season. So that would suggest that they were sequestered. And the reason they should be sequestered, I don't know if I made this clear, but like if the house guest evicted knows anything about what goes on in the diary room or anything secretive that they wouldn't know just being in the house, then they can't.
They could reveal it.
Well, so this is a reason. So this is a reason why I think I disagree with you, because on last night's episode,
that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, Julie Chen told I've never seen her do this.
Yeah.
She told Nicole A that Enzo voted for her to stay.
And she showed her the full alliance.
Yeah, and I was like,
She showed her the Memphis, Cody, Tyler, Danny, Nicole F, and Christmas. So it's confirmed that there can't be a battle back.
Yeah,
at least right now. It can be later. They can sequester people at any point.
Sure.
But there's not going to be a battle back.
Well, and my thought is that maybe the producers told Janelle that because they didn't want her to just...
Didn't want her to come back.
Yeah, they want her to play. They want her to think that it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to be here regardless, so play.
Or they love Janelle so much that they determined when the battle back happens.
Right.
It's based on whether or not, if Janelle was evicted first, maybe the battle back would have happened
sooner.
Now, but since they're like, Keisha, Nicole A, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like if Janelle goes, she has to come back. She's the show.
They'll start the process of sequestering when she leaves.
Yeah.
They're like, it's based on evicted house guest number 3 through 7.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I love her so much. I think she's, I would be very intimidated by her being in the house. And I could see that making me very paranoid. And
she was good at the, she almost won the HOH.
She did.
She was the closest to winning. And
there was actually a change.org. Of course.
Oh my God.
You guys, change.org, it's such a joke. And Big Brother fans on Twitter are so insane. Like immediately after the episode aired in the East Coast, there was a change.org because they said that Tyler pushed his button before his beer stein stopped. And so he actually got 3, not 4 or something like that. And it was like, and so like they had video, they slowed it down, they had screenshots, and people were like, no, dude, he got 12. Sorry. Like, but yeah. Well, and then the feeds were off for 3 hours after the live episode, which almost never happens. And so then everybody had all of these conspiracy theories that they were redoing the HOH comp because of that. And like, it was just like a whole thing. And my brain hurt. I was like, I can't watch this show. I'm too emotionally invested. I cannot handle this. And yet I can't put down my freaking phone.
Yeah, it's hard.
I am so excited for next week because I want it to. It will hopefully wipe the bad taste out of my mouth this week, which just felt like punch in the face after punch in the face.
Well, and I'm actually a really big Tyler fan. I didn't care. I liked him in his last season, but I really like him this season. And even though he's going against other people I like, I think that's what's interesting about this season is you can like people in all these other areas. And even though he's going, I'm rooting for him in a weird way, also because he's in my draft alliance, but also I think that he could, hopefully he's going to make some cooler move this week because literally nothing's, I mean, even if Janelle and Pacer go up, it's going to be a more exciting week, even though I don't want them to go home.
Yeah.
At least something will be happening because all we've been seeing is people that I literally couldn't care less if Kevin was gone too and David. Like all four of them could have been, all four of the previous nominees could be gone and the game would probably still be pretty much the same.
Totally. So let's just do a very quick draft update. Where are we at? I think I'm probably losing now.
You've been Sam has been winning by far the entire time.
So where are the scores?
So Sam is at 4 points.
Gosh.
Sam has all of the wins besides, not including this week. Sam has every HOH and veto winner on his team.
Sam.
And then you, Taryn, have both safety suite winners.
Okay.
Kaser and Christmas. And then this week I got my first point with Tyler.
Nice.
But I also lost a player.
Oh, that's right. You
Nicole
did.
A was eliminated and David may as well be just not playing the game at all. So let's just say I have 3 players left.
Oh, man.
No.
And also Kevin's on my team. So
Oh,
I have
no. Wow.
So I'm rooting for Tyler to win. It's my only chance.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you guys, I'm nervous for Janelle and Kaysar this week, to be quite honest with you. I really hope
I don't want them to go,
I don't either. They're such entertainment. I really hope they stay, but I'm pretty nervous. I feel like it's not going to be a good week for those two.
Well, the good news is they can't both be eliminated in one week. And when there's one of them left, they really, if people are still trying to eliminate the one that's left, then they're just absolute idiots because because they don't have anybody. So then at least that person will have to align with someone. It'll get interesting.
That's a very good point. All right, everybody. This was this was only week 2. Can you believe that? Oh my God. I feel like we're in week 10 already. So this was week 2. I want to just thank everyone for joining us here at House Meeting Podcast. Thank you also, clapping to our very first Patreon supporter, Daniel, for his generous donation. We love you so much. And it's people like you, honestly, that can keep a podcast like this alive. That's the only way that we can make money, and it's not free to do this. It's a nice hobby, but it's not free. So thank you very much. If anybody else wants to donate, it's patreon.com/housemeeting. And of course, thank you again, Ellen and Sam, for joining me here. This was a very fun time. It was a good week. I think we're in for another crazy week of Big Brother. So here we go. I'm going to go get my bouncy ball. So we'll see you guys. Oh, I didn't do it again because I'm not a pro at this. Okay. Here, hang on. Oh, it's not even up. This is what editing is for, you guys. Okay. All right. Let me just go back a little bit. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, guys. I need to figure out how I can make this a better transition for myself. I don't know why I can't handle this, but oh well. I need like 5 more arms. Okay. All right. I am ready for another crazy week of Big Brother. All right, guys. We will see you all at the next house meeting. Oops. All right, well, at least I'll know where to edit. All right, we're done recording. Very good. All right.
So I want to do. I just wanted to mention this because it's not like we need music for it or whatever, but I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do a segment where I give it would be short, but a brief history on. Okay, it could go one of two ways. I was gonna do like a history of a house meeting in the past, since it's all stars.
Yeah.
It could each time either include someone that's in the house or just be like a really great house meeting and just like talk about what happened, and maybe we can play a clip. I could like send you the clip because I don't know how that works, but it could either be that we just do it randomly, or it could be that when there is a house meeting, but that's I guess confusing because
And it may not happen.
It may not happen. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking about. And if I prep it, I'll just let you know, and we could talk about how to send the sound clips or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
no, that'll be good. I think segments like that'll be perfect for this show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you want to do that for next week?
Well, if we're doing the thing with mom and dad next week,
Oh,
that will
okay.
be.
That'll be the next week one.
So
okay.
we can whenever. We'll do it the week after that. Or
It would be
whatever.
good to just get one ready to go. That way, if
Yeah.
they cancel, they can't do it, they're in bad mood, and
Yeah.
we can't talk to them, then
Cool.
we can just jump and use that instead.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it won't be really long, but it'll just be like a fun little break from the week. It's especially good if it's a boring week. Like sometimes there's not that much that happens. And
Right.
It feels like there's a lot every week, but especially as we get later in the
Yeah,
season, there's less people, so there's less things going on.
absolutely. No, that's a great idea.
Sweet.
Okay. All right,
Well,
guys.
Cool.
Fun
Stay
stuff.
safe.
And
Don't breathe too much smoke. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's smoke where you are, Sam, but